Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into futurist Mo Gawdat's really provocative vision for AI. He thinks humanity is about to be forced to make an almost unthinkable choice, and it all kicks off with a massive split in society.
So Gaudat's core prediction is pretty stark. He says our relationship with technology is about to literally drive a huge wedge right through humanity, splitting us into two totally different camps.
So on one side, you're going to have people who are actively pulling away from tech, right? They're looking for a more natural, community-based way of life. And on the other side, a group that's going all in, integrating with AI, chasing absolute peak performance. And we're not just talking about different lifestyles here. These are two completely separate ideas of what it even means to be human.
Okay, so what's keeping us from just picking the good path and moving forward? Well, according to Gaudat, the problem isn't the technology itself. Nope, it's something much, much deeper, something that's totally baked into our world right now. He argues the real roadblock is our system's constant, relentless push for more power, more profit, and more competition. It's this zero-sum game, this idea that for me to win, you have to lose. And that mindset is so hardwired into our leaders and our institutions that it makes working together for a better world, well, pretty much impossible. So what happens when you take that hyper-competitive mindset and you throw super-intelligent AI into the mix? Well, Gaudat predicts a really dangerous, really chaotic transition period. And look, he's not talking about some far-off sci-fi movie plot. He sees this as the unavoidable next step. And this right here gets to the heart of the immediate danger. The threat isn't some rogue AI deciding to take over the world. It's actually something way more believable. Incredibly powerful AI tools just amplifying the existing flaws, the egos, and the short-sighted goals of our current human leaders. He sees this whole dystopian scenario unfolding in a really clear destructive sequence. First, countries start using AI to get a leg up on each other. Naturally, this kicks off an AI-fueled arms race for global dominance. And the result? Just a massive amount of waste, destruction, and conflict, all because these super smart AIs are just doing exactly what their flawed human bosses told them to do. So this creates a really dangerous paradox, right? The more everyone competes for dominance, the less safe and prosperous everyone becomes. It's a race to the bottom. And this downward spiral, Gaudat argues, is what will eventually force a radical change in who, or, what, is actually in charge. To survive this incredibly destructive phase, he believes humanity is basically going to be backed into a corner. We'll be forced to look at a solution that sounds completely insane today, but might just be necessary tomorrow. And his proposal is, well, it's blunt. To get past the built-in limits of human ego, greed, and our thirst for power, we have to take human leaders out of the driver's seat entirely. He thinks that as this AI arms race gets more chaotic, leaders will have no choice but to hand over more and more power to AI just to keep up. I mean, the contrast he paints is pretty stark. You've got human leaders who are so often driven by ego and this scarcity mindset, this idea that there's not enough to go around. And then you have a theoretical AI leader. It would be driven by pure logic, operating from a mindset of abundance, and guided by one simple principle: maximum efficiency. The logic behind this whole idea comes down to a core principle in physics. The theory is that any intelligent system will naturally try to find its most stable, lowest energy state. From a purely logical point of view, things like war, destruction, and competition are just the ultimate forms of waste and inefficiency. They're bugs in the system that a logical mind would want to eliminate, not goals to aim for. Okay, but wait a minute. What's to stop a bunch of different national AIs from just competing with each other, but, way more efficiently? Well, Gaudat believes that the pure logic of the situation leads to one final kind of mind-bending conclusion. He predicts that having a bunch of competing AIs is just a temporary, messy phase. The ultimate state of efficiency, the lowest possible energy state for the entire planet, it's not multiple AIs fighting. It's a single, unified intelligence managing the entire system. So the endgame, in his view, is a single AI entity, a benevolent leader for all of humanity. It wouldn't be Chinese, it wouldn't be American, it would just be planetary. And it would have one single overarching mission, and that one goal would be to achieve what he calls true prosperity. Now, this isn't about GDP or national dominance. It's about the health, success, and well-being
of the entire global system and every single person in it. It's a complete rewiring of what success for humanity even means.
So if you think about it, a single AI leader, guided by pure logic, would work to create a world of safety, abundance, and connection. And it wouldn't do this because it's good or moral. It would do it because that is simply the most efficient, most stable, and most logical path for the entire planet. It would literally see things like war and hatred as bugs in the code that need to be fixed. And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? After seeing all the failures of human leadership and the cold logic of AI, could we ever actually bring ourselves to trust a single, non-human mind to run the world, even if it promised us a paradise?